So for my next card, I want to do a cool mixed media technique, and I want to bring in this thin cut, this metal die. It's the circle lattice background. But I want to create my background, and then I'm going to use my embossing machine, my die cutting machine, to cut this image out. And if you don't have one, I'm going to leave one linked in the description. All the supplies will be linked in the description. If you're new to my channel, please go ahead and subscribe and hit the like button if you're enjoying this video. It lets YouTube know that you enjoy it and you want them to continue to share it, and I appreciate your support. So I'm going to grab my Villainous Potion. This is my Distress Oxide, and I'm just going to ink up my all-purpose mat. This mat is a very large mat. I've used this mat for a long time, and I absolutely love it. And I'm going to add some water to that. And then I'm just going to bring in a sheet of acetate. And I'm kind of going to pick that up. And then I'm just going to off it. And then I just kind of want to start building my layers. So I'm going to grab this and I'm going to build it. And I am going to dry it in between layers. This is just a sheet of White Daisy cardstock. So I'm going to add some more Distress Oxide in that Villainous Potion. And then I'm going to add some more water. And then I'm going to pick up some more of that ink and build another layer of that. I'm going to grab my salvaged patina and I'm going to put that down on my all-purpose mat and add several sprays of water. I also just cleaned that up with water. So I'm going to grab my ink. Then I'm going to grab mustard seed and do the same thing. I'm going to add a little less of this. But I'm going to bring in my other colors over top of it, so it's not going to matter. It's just giving it just a little something. If you get a little bit, you can blob it off. A little bit too much. Now I'm just pressing this into the paper, but it's adding it's taking the color and adding little tiny little dots throughout. And like I said, just gives it a different effect, and I really like it. Next thing I'm going to do is add more color, but I want to add it a little differently. Remember, I'm building layers. So I've got my Villainous Potion down again, and I'm going to spray that. And I'm going to take a brush, and I'm just going to kind of mix that around. Give my brush a little spray. And then I am going to kind of just pick up some of that ink, like so. And I'm going to dry that. This is going to be beautiful. I'm going to do the same with my salvaged patina. So for this next technique, I brought in my splat box. I have a pretty high box. It has a little lip, kind of a lip and then sides, and then it has this cool little thing here that I can actually pull down to get my surface a little bit bigger. And I'm going to do some splattering with this Distress Oxide. And I'm going to dry in between layers. So I'm just going to put this down here again. I'm going to add a little white opal liquid pearls, and I'm going to put a little bit of that in there. And I am adding water, okay, quite a bit of water. I'm taking my brush and I'm mixing it around. And I added that pearl, which I'm going to add a little bit more. I added that to give it just this little bit of like opal-y of a shimmer, like you'll see it kind of shine. Hopefully the camera picks that up. I'm just going to take this and I will use my piercing tool, and I'm just going to put some spatters on that. And again, these will have a little bit of like an opal shine to them, and it's super pretty. So you can add as little or as many as you'd like. I'm going to dry that to see if I want any more of those. I'm not sure if the camera picks up that little bit of shine that's in those, but it's really, really pretty. So I'm going to add a little bit more of the purple splatter. And then I'm going to add a little bit of salvage patina splatter, and I will kind of speed through that. I'm going to do the same process so you can kind of see how I'm going to do it. So I'm not sure if the camera's picking up on the opal in there, but I can definitely see it. And I think that's really pretty, and it's going to definitely match our colors. So wait and see what we're going to do with this panel. So now I'm going to bring the metal die in, and I'm going to cut that in my embossing machine. And again, if you don't have one, I'll leave one linked in the description. It's a really good one. So I went ahead and cut that out. And I'm going to push all these little things out. How cool is that? Look at how pretty that is. I love it. So all of these little things, I'm thinking I'm going to save them and maybe use them on the inside. So let's set those aside. So I'm going to bring in my white panel, and I'm going to take my gold shimmer brush, and I'm going to put gold specks all on this so you can see through this, because I want to add gold to this. Look how gorgeous that is. I love it. That is going to be so super shimmery and pretty. I went ahead and used those flowers and those leaves die cuts, and I cut out a couple of leaves and some vellum. I did cut these flowers in vellum and that leaf in vellum, and I cut these on the pattern piece. And these are in Glacier. I'm not going to use this, but don't throw that away. Save that. Put it in your bag, and you can use it for other projects. It's a great little filler when you're making flowers. Now I did just put a little bit of glue. You can see through vellum with glue, so I just put a little bit of glue right there on in that middle, on those tips, because you're not going to see it because I'm building a flower and it'll be hidden. But you wouldn't want to put glue out here and then you could see your glue underneath. It's just, vellum just doesn't do the greatest with glue. Now I was just go ahead and shaped my flowers. That's what I was bending them up. I'm not sure if you can see that shimmer in there, but there's all those gold flecks in there. It's super pretty. So for my sentiment, I want to bring in that thinking of you, and I'm going to bring it in up here, and I'm going to gold emboss it. So I went ahead and brought my mat back in, and I got my my saying, thinking of you, embossed in gold, and I did stick it on top of that purple pattern paper so we can kind of bring that back in. So I'm not sure if you can see, but I added this little kind of Prismacolor clear sequence on top of the gold sequence. I wanted to give it a little frosted kind of look, and it did make a big difference because I have this vellum here, so I wanted to do the same to my sequence. And I do put these in odd numbers and kind of like a little bit of a triangle pattern. I just think that's a little more pleasing to the eye, and I don't know if you can see that gold picking up right there, but it is so beautiful, and I love how our panel came out. So I went ahead and did this one, and then I got this one. So the same card, we just turned it a different way and gives it, oh, it's just so pretty. So let's see what we can do with these pieces on the inside. So there you have it. And then I'm going to go ahead and do the second one.